Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. Do you ever notice they always tell you to buy, but they never tell you to sell? They never tell you to sell. Well, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you understand. When you buy a stock, and if all you do is buy, and you never sell short to make money where they're going down, you have to be so good. That means you got to buy the companies that are always going up. Nobody's that good. Nobody could possibly be that good. You got to make money just like you make money when you buy a stock. You got to make money when a stock goes down. That's how you even the playing field. That's how professionals make money. They make money going up and make money going down, but they don't tell you that. They just want you to try to make money going up. They don't want you to make money going down because they make that money on you. Join my gang, Phil's Gang. Learn how to short stocks at philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know, everybody, the hot stocks Apple or Google, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. What people don't understand is every stock is the same. If the institutions buy it, it goes up. If they don't, it goes down. It doesn't matter the name. That's why we use charts to identify money in, money out. Join my gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, my name is Phil Grande at philsgang.com. You know we're going to have not only a stock market crash in 2016, but a housing crash in 2016. Don't you like how they tell us the housing's in recovery and the market's in recovery and the economy's in recovery when it's not? It's in a bubble. Take housing. They loaned to a Wall Street firm called Blackstone. $7 billion. They buy 41,000 houses to go rent. Are you nuts? When they can't collect the rents anymore, those houses are going on the market and going to depress the real estate business by 30 or 40%. It's the same thing with stocks. They loan people money 600% more than they ever did before to buy stocks. That's all debt. And when the market goes down, they're going to have to dump those stocks to pay back that debt. And boy, will the market drop. Join my gang. Learn how to short. philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Be sure to watch the Phil's Gang Show with Phil Grande, weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on various devices like smartphones, tablets, your computer, and more. Get free access to the Phil's Gang Show right in your hands at home or on the go. Simply go to philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com and click on the Listen Live link. And we'll see you on the charts.
We're on our best 2-year job creation streak in 20 years.
What are you, nuts? Who'd believe that? Let me tell you the truth. First of all, the 292,000 jobs we got in December 2015, and they told us the unemployment rate is 5%. Not true. You can't trust these people on Wall Street. You can't trust the press. What they don't count is, in December, for example, the 615,000 discouraged workers. A discouraged worker is a person unemployed, gave up looking for work, but this administration does not count them as unemployed when calculating a 5% unemployment rate. Instead, they classify the discouraged as marginally attached to the labor force, but they're not considered part of the labor force or part of the unemployment. That's why you can't trust what they tell you. If we back into 625,000, the real unemployment rate is 12%, not 5%. That's why you got to join my gang, where you get the truth and where we use charts. Join the gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
AMVA, and I've lost over 30K on it, but it had excellent earnings the last several quarters, and if they make the cameras and drone equipment, I don't know why it's so weak these days.
It's so weak these days because you don't pay attention to what they make. You don't care about their earnings. The problem is the institutions are pulling their money out, and that's all you need to know, and that's what we identify in the chart, and that's why I become a Phil's Gang member.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264.
Hi, my name is Phil Grande at philsgang.com. The 401k big lie. They tell you invest $10,000 a year for 30 years, compounded at 6% annually. You will have a grand total of $245,000 to retire. That is not true. That is not the truth. What they don't tell you is the hidden fees. There's 27 hidden fees in your 401k. When you're all done, you lose half of what you put aside for your retirement. That's right, half. And another thing, you're not allowed to do individual stocks in a mutual fund. And you're not allowed to make money when stocks go down. That's ridiculous. Would you buy a car with just forward and no reverse? Why would you ever be in a fund that you can't make money when the stock market goes down? Join my gang, philsgang.com.
Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. There is only one talk show host, Phil Grande, who delivers both social and financial talk. Not even Hannity or Rush can deliver a 1-2 punch like that. That's Phil Grande, philsgang.com. Phil Grande is unique, the industry leader, the first talk show host ever to combine social issues and finance into winning stock market ideas. That's Phil Grande, philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
Kevin, I want to start with you because you like Exxon, and I'm wondering if that's a way to ask the broader question here, that the worst is over. I mean, if you're willing to buy Exxon, do you think the worst is over for oil, and hence, because there's been so much correlation, the worst is over for the markets?
Well, I think the worst is behind us, but we like Exxon from the flight to quality perspective. It's a solid integrated oil producer. Still is buying back shares, although it's buying back less than it has in recent years.
Flight to quality, that's why they like it. I'd fly away from this stock for me. Welcome to Phil's Gang, coast to coast around the country, off the Wall Street Radio Network. It's Friday. They're talking about oil. It's still oil. The market, as I told you when we had this rally, I said we'd have a rally. I even pinpointed where the rally would stop, and it stopped exactly where I pinpointed on the chart it would stop. And in fact, I'll give you that number right now. The S&P, everybody's talking about a critical 1950. And I said in the beginning, I said that's exactly where it would go. But I think it's got to go a little higher than that. I think it's got to go to 1970, 1978. I believe that's the critical part for the S&P to prove that the rally, is for real. Anybody says that 1950, that's different. That's a little too tough. I think you got to get up to 1973 minimum, hold there for about 2 weeks, prove that we got new money coming in, and then, we're fine. There is no green light on buying this stock market. Let me tell you, if you're running into this market, we are not seeing buy signals. There is no buy signals. For him to say to buy Exxon, because of this foolishness, his stories he's given us, is crazy. Exxon, when I put it up on my chart, and I look at the money coming in and the money going out, first of all, he's telling you to buy when the institutional money is coming out of the stock. Can you believe that? At the top of the stock. You should have been buying the stock when there was a small buy signal. It was right about January 25th. And I'll give you an exact date on it. I mean, I can't believe these guys. They just give you, it sounds like they shoot their mouth, January 26th. Now, if you wanted to buy it for short term, you wanted to buy it for a week or two, that'd been fine, but not to buy to hold. But now it's over because it's hitting stage 3. Every stock has 4 stages. It's now at stage 3. So Exxon is not the time to buy. That's why you cannot listen to these people. You got to look at a chart, because a chart will always be truthful, because the chart always tells you, hey, the big guys, they're getting in or they're getting out. And it's the big guys who drive stocks. So Exxon, please don't listen to him. There is a cell signal there right now. All right. My commentary today is on, is on this. Let's put up the tape. This is unbelievable.
A person who thinks only about building walls, wherever they may be, and not building bridges is not Christian. This is not in the gospel. This man is not Christian if he said things like that.
If and when the Vatican is attacked by ISIS, which as everyone knows is ISIS's ultimate trophy, I can promise you that the Pope would have only wished and prayed that Donald Trump would have been president. Donald Trump is a very nice person, and I am a very nice person. And I'm a very good Christian, because the Pope said something to the effect that maybe Donald Trump isn't Christian, okay? And he's questioning my faith. I was very surprised to see it, but I am a Christian. For a religious leader to question a person's faith is disgraceful. I'm proud to be a Christian, and as president, I will not allow Christianity to be consistently attacked and weakened, unlike what is happening now with our current president.
Well, it's just absolutely stunning. I don't ever remember in my lifetime that a pope has ever injected himself into the specifics of an American presidential election and specifically calling out of the candidate. In this case, what makes it so remarkable, number one, is that all of the GOP candidates have called for a secure border, every last one of them. And so why did the Pope just single out Donald Trump? Secondly, 3 of the candidates are Catholic. And I think it's going to be interesting to find out, will they say, I disagree with my Pope on this one? But there's another issue. I mean, I've been to the Vatican. There's a big wall that surrounds the Vatican. I'm wondering, when the Pope gets back home, is he going to take that down and say, we don't build walls anymore?
And that's absolutely true. But here's my question. Sure, Christianity is about not judging. I'm a Christian, I'm Catholic. And every pope I've heard would say, I don't judge. I shouldn't judge. As Christians, we shouldn't judge. We just take people in, we take care of them, we don't judge people. But he's judging Trump on his Christianity. Now, I was stunned, because my question is, if the Pope, the Vatican, that's their position, that it's not Christian to build a wall to protect our borders, that Trump's not a Christian because he's doing that. It's not Christian. Is it Christian when the Vatican and the Pope refused to publicly denounce anything the Third Reich was doing? Even though the Vatican and the Pope at that time, they were the most informed institution on the Holocaust in the world. They were informed about the mass killings, the gassing. They knew all about it, the killing of the Jews in Europe. But instead of stopping it, was it Christian to decide to profit from it? That's right. The Vatican, during the war, through its bank, the Vatican Bank, the world's best hedge fund, still alive and well today, very wealthy, began investing only in specific Italian insurance companies that insured the lives of Jews, and made millions profiting from the ongoing murder of Europe's Jews during the Holocaust. These companies the Vatican Bank invested in made millions by keeping all the financial assets from these life insurance policies of the Jewish policyholder, who were murdered during the Holocaust. Is that being a good Christian? Then after the war, the Vatican, the Pope, was sued for millions of dollars. They tried to get it back. But because the Vatican was not, quote, a direct insurer, they were smart, it was never required to pay restitution after the war. Is that Christian? See, because of its sovereignty, the Vatican Bank has the ability to withhold all kinds of information from regulators, authorities. It's amazing what they can do. The secrecy, the cover, it's unbelievable. The Vatican has moved money all around the place They've gained all kinds of illegal profits and power. Example, the Vatican Bank was the perfect place for the high-ranking Nazis to hide billions in stolen wartime loot. Paintings, you name it. Then after the war, the Vatican also aided and saved many of the Nazi war criminals. Got them to Brazil, other countries. After the war ended, they gave the Vatican gave many of these Nazi criminals sanctuary. Is that being a good Christian? Are you kidding? And when we get back, we'll tell you about their tie to the mob. Is that Christian? We'll be right back. Phil's Gang, 15 past the hour here on Phil's Gang and Christianity.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil.
Welcome back to Phil's Gang Radio Show. For more information, simply go to philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
Stock Corner is brought to you by the Phil's Gang video channel. Go to philsgang.com, click on the video channel graphic, and check out Phil's free videos on the market, economy, and current events.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. Okay, if you want to join the gang, go to my site, philsgang.com, or you can call to subscribe, 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-GANG. And remember, all we ask, if you make money, please donate to St. Jude. And for people who never made real money with 401ks and you're disgusted with the market, the best thing for you is to enter our what we call our PT2 program. It's called the Working Investor Program. It's fantastic. It's for people who really don't know much about the market, but who are busy, but are tired of their 401k, and they just like to make some money to create some wealth. And we coach you all the way through. You have private coaching all the way through. And when you join the gang, you just every day follow that segment. The Working Investment segment's on every day. It's archived. It's about 1:15 in the afternoon. It's a beautiful thing. And you can just do the spiders, just only the spiders, a basket of 500 of the best stocks in the world. And they move together. They act as one stock. There's hardly any expense to the spiders, unlike your 401k, where you got to give 65% of your income, or 65% of the money you got in your account goes to fees. This is like 1/1800th of 1%, almost nothing. Check it out. Perfect for a person who's busy, who doesn't have time, but who's disgusted with the market, but who say, I've got to get some income for my retirement. So check it out, 877-600-GANG. Subscribe to Phil's Gang. You'll love it. Okay, the market. Everybody's talking about oil. The whole market's tied to oil. I've been saying forever, it's not oil. We shouldn't be looking to oil. They always have some story. It's been tied, as we know, to China. Every morning we came into work, what's China doing? What's Groggy doing? What's Greece doing? Remember, for months, what's Greece doing? Now it's oil. It has nothing to do with oil. This has to do with debt. It has to do with quantitative easing. Now they're talking about, well, they're going to come back with quantitative easing. But what has quantitative easing done for us, for Main Street? Nothing. It's done nothing. We haven't created jobs out of quantitative easing. Not at all. As a matter of fact, we talk about it all the time, that Obama and his administration never intended for the economy to recover. Because when he came in and inherited the mess that Bush left behind and the housing crash, he figured out it would take too long. If he did what was right to create savings, to help small business create jobs by creating an environment for small business, less regulation, help them with less taxing, help them find good banking, create good jobs. It's always savings, investments, good jobs. And then from there, your people go out and start spending. And then the spending, you get earnings. The earnings, your stock price goes up. But he figured that's going to take too long for me to come in here and take the economy and do what I'm supposed to do, that any good president, too long. Look at the deficits I got. Look at the mess I got left over from the hangover from the meltdown in housing. I got to do something quick. So I'm going to drive the stock market up 200% without companies having to make profits, without companies having to make sales. I'll just drive it up. I'll print money. I'll buy all the 10-year treasuries so that the yields go down. I'll print $85 billion a month in fake money, print it out of thin air, and I will take those bonds and buy all the 10-year treasury bonds so that China and the Saudis and everybody else who buys our bonds won't be able to. And when they go to buy, they go, oh my God, look at the yields, because we bought them. The yields dropped from 5% down to 1%. That will drive them into the stock market. QE, then the 0% interest rate. What does zero interest rates do? It just robbed our seniors. It robbed the savers. It didn't help our country. Zero interest rates never was intended to help our country. It was all intended to create all this money, print it, stick it in the stock market so the 10 percentile will make a fortune on a 200% rally so he could tax them. Look, we're going to tax time now. Everybody's thinking about taxes. And just remember that. That whole rally, that whole Ponzi scheme was to create tax income for the Treasury because our country was getting trillion-dollar deficits and we needed it. And Obama said, we can't create an economy. Take too long. So we'll lie to the American people and tell them we're doing all these things to create an economy when we're creating money for the 10 percentile, who 85% of their whole wealth is in the stock market, and they will create tremendous amount of tax revenue for the Treasury. And that's what QE is about. So if we get QE again to try to drive the stock market up, which is having a tough time going, because remember, we're no longer giving money to companies at zero interest so they can buy their own stocks back to push stocks up. That's gone. We're no longer giving money at 0% to the hedge funds so they can speculate in the stock market. That's gone. That's why we can't get this rally going. So if they're going to, so everybody's talking on Wall Street, well, they'll do QE again. Well, what good does that do for America? It does nothing for America. QE was designed to hurt small businesses with their higher taxes, higher capital costs, increase in commodity price, increase in regulations. They created all kinds of layoffs for small businesses, replacing full-time with part-time. That's what QE did. Job substituting. That's what QE did. High-paying jobs for low-paying jobs. The idea was to shift the middle class towards poverty. Then they could continue to justify quantitative easing. Tell people, oh, look, things are going to get better. We got to keep printing more money. Got to keep printing more money. So QE is not the answer. The answer is when this market collapses, you know how to make money when the market goes down. It's that simple. How to short a stock. You got to be as knowledgeable on buying a stock as selling a stock short. And do you think that someone's going to do that for you? That's why I want you to come to our Working Investor Group. Join my gang. Come to the Working Investor Group with the Spiders, 500 of the best stocks. That's the greatest program for you so you can make money when the market goes down as well as going up. Sign up now. 877-600-GANG. We'll be right back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. listen to Phil Grande and check out philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
There does seem to be again, another negative day, but don't forget we had that very nice corrective rise in the United States. So there's two really strong performances, in fact, three back-to-back. But however, today, of course, I think the markets are kind of getting back to reality. And the reality to me is that we need to adjust to this new frame of reference that markets and investors are losing faith in the central banks and their ability or capacity to influence financial markets.
Well, the central banks, are you kidding? They created $212 trillion worth of debt, global debt. Are you nuts? Of course. Lose faith in the banks. That's why the market is starting to crash. People are starting to finally figure out, or start to think at least, about the fundamentals. The economy. They've been ignoring the economy, the fundamentals of the economy. When we were having a 200% rally, nobody cared that our manufacturing was falling apart. Who cared if our manufacturing was going down the tubes? Nobody cared. Nobody cared that we had so many part-time jobs. We had hardly any disposable income, so people couldn't go out and buy stuff, and therefore companies weren't making great profits. Their earnings weren't going up, so it wasn't pushing up their stock. But why did they care? Because the banks came in, the central banks came in, printed money, and gave the money to the companies to push their own stock up. And that's how they went up, 200%. But now they're not going up anymore. I told you in July, I said, in May 2015, I said, this is it. The stock market is over. The rally is over. It's starting to crash. July, I said, the last week of July, I said, this is the first, July 29th, I said, this is the first day of the crash. And then we've been crashing ever since. This rally we're having right now, this was nothing but a short covering rally, meaning people like us who shorted to take your profits, you have to buy the stock. That's what's moving the stock up, not new money coming in. Now, if you want to be safe, get away from these 401ks. Give you an example, Ford. And this is perfect, once again, for our working investor group. These are people just like you who work all day long, who are busy, don't have the time to learn anything. They just want a coach. And we have set up the program, the Working Investor Program, for S&P 500, the best stocks. You can trade that whole group, invest in that whole group, or an individual stock. Take Ford. When Ford turned red, we had a sell signal, and it dropped. It dropped about 20%. 20%. Now, I'm not saying every gang member made 20%. What I am saying, every gang member knew where the sell signal was in Ford, and they could take advantage of it because they were trained to learn the chart. They were coached, and here where it is, here where we'll pull the trigger, let's short it. Now, we're starting to see some institution buying coming back in the other way. So now we're starting to buy a little bit of Ford. Just a little bit, because we're not convinced yet. And that's why it's perfect for you, the working investor, the hardworking person who doesn't have enough saved. You're getting towards retirement. You're scared. You don't have enough money we just put aside. This is the program for you. Check it out. After a month, if you don't like it, but see, you can do individual stocks and you can do the exchange traded fund. And that's a beautiful thing. Your 401k, you can't even do individual stocks. It's ridiculous. So subscribe to my site. You can call 877-600-GANG. Denise is there. And so and Steve, and they'll explain to you the program. Okay. I want to play this cut from Scarborough, what he was talking about the Pope. Because this all goes back to the banking and back to the stock market. Do you know the Vatican Bank? They're very much part of our central banks. Yeah, they are.
For any pope, for any preacher, for any minister. Mm-hmm. But Gene Robinson, for a pope who we all adored and loved for asking the question, who am I to judge? For him to turn around and then judge a man's very Christianity because he supports borders with his country is unthinkable.
That's right. It is unthinkable. But here's what's really unthinkable about the Vatican, about the popes. And I'm a Catholic. I'm a Christian. Don't start throwing stones. The Vatican Bank, a perfect place for the high-ranking Nazis to hide billions in stolen wartime loot, and they did. And of course, they aided and saved many of these Nazi war criminals. The Vatican did. And they made a fortune doing it. But let's move forward a little bit. Fast forward, 2009. An Italian journalist, he published a book. And somebody smuggled out of the Vatican Bank all kinds of documentation. And it showed what they were involved with. The book proved they were involved with fake charity accounts were created. And they were used they would say, we're going to do a charity. There's one charity, $20 million. They never used it for charity. It was all for luxury lifestyle. Went out and bought cars and homes and unbelievable what was going on. But in 2009, this journalist put it in a book, and it's just amazing. So they smuggled all the stuff out for the book, and they proved all the fake charity accounts. They're all created and all used for this political donations, laundering of money, embezzlement. A group of Philadelphia priests, bunch of monks, they raised $20 million, a fake charity. No, it was used for their lifestyle, their luxury lifestyle. They would also raise funds for religious projects. They spent all the money on cars, personal expenses, mistresses, hired friends to do jobs around the ministry, and they say, but I want half of your salary if I'm going to hire you. They get half the salary. When they got caught, they didn't go to the police. What did the Vatican do? They send over $5 million in hush money. I guess they thought this was the Christian thing to do. Send over $5 million hush money to cover it all up, to pay off all the authorities, to pay off the victims, to cover up the crime, avoid being sued or facing criminal charges. I mean, my Lord. You say, well, that sounds like the mob, Phil. Well, they were connected to the mob. Really? Yeah. The Vatican Bank. Now, the Vatican, from time to time, was working with the mob, all in this book. I guess that's the Christian thing to do. But to build a wall, that's not being a Christian. A group of cardinals wanted to get into this investment. It's going to cost their share of the investment was $4 million. But they needed to borrow the money. They needed some security. So what do? They asked the mob to provide them counterfeit corporate bonds and stolen securities, and they secured their loan. And they got the loan. Now, the counterfeit bonds, they're undetectable unless the Vatican Bank lost money. Nobody's going to know. So the only way they're going to get caught if they lost money on the investment, and if they're unable to pay back the loans. But then the bank or the Vatican would just claim, hey, they claim ignorance, right? They didn't know it was a scam when they knew it was a scam. When the U.S. Attorney General investigated, they could not come up with the proof because of its sovereignty. The Vatican Bank is in Vatican City and has the ability to withhold account information from regulators, from any kind of authority, the FBI, and you can't get anything. And this secrecy has provided an excellent cover throughout history for the Vatican to gain all kinds of illegal profits. And that's where they got their wealth. That's where they got their power. The Vatican has not only made millions off life insurance policies of the Holocaust victims, but made money hiding the billions of stolen wartime loot for the Nazis. They've made so much money in real estate deals and just incredible. We'll be right back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Show. This segment is brought to you by the Phil's Gang video channel on YouTube.com.
76, Jimmy Carter famously said, "I will not lie to you."
Well, I have to tell you, I have tried in every way I know how, literally from my years as a young lawyer all the way through my time as Secretary of State, to level with the American people.
Hey, you talk about leveling with the American people. Have you always told the truth?
I've always tried to. Always. Always.
Some people are going to call that wiggle room that you just gave yourself.
Well, no,
always tried to.
No, I've always
Jimmy Carter said, "I will never lie to you."
You know, you're asking me to say, have I ever? I don't believe I ever have. I don't believe I ever have. I don't believe I ever will. I'm going to do the best I can to level with the American people.
Welcome back to Phil's Gang. Oh my God, did you see her this morning when she was like, you knew she got caught. She's one of the biggest liars. Are you kidding? They come from a family of liars. They're born with lying. It's unbelievable. Are you kidding? The Clintons? But the government also. The cornerstone of our whole government, it's gotten so corrupt in Washington, is lying. We have 165 million workers covered under Social Security. 51% have no pension. No, nothing. We got 34% of the workforce has no savings set aside. Nothing for retirement. Nothing. They live on Social Security. How are you going to live on Social Security? First of all, they lied to you. Today they came out with inflation numbers. We're like next to nothing. Went, I think, from 0.3% to 0.4. What a lie. They lie to us about the inflation number so they don't have to be honest with you, the retiree, the Social Security person. When you receive your check, you get screwed because by keeping the inflation low, lying about it, they don't have to give you cost of living increases. According to BLS itself, the government, if they went back 10 years and readjusted honestly the inflation rate, the inflation cost of living, $1,300 check 10 years ago, you would be getting $1,840, not $1,300. That's about $5,000 a year you got screwed out of. That's crazy. That's nuts. So if you go back 10 years ago and added the cost of living, instead of your $1,300 check 10 years ago, it should have been $1,840, not $1,300. That makes a big difference. But yeah, I've heard one candidate, not even my friend Trump, to say anything about Social Security, what are they going to do with it. This Ponzi scheme was introduced in 1935. It's a criminal fraud. It's a bigger Ponzi scheme than Madoff. Are you kidding me? We got to get rid of it. The government needs 66% of each dollar collected from us in taxes to keep alive their Ponzi scheme, Social Security and Medicare. Remember, this is not government spending. It's not expenditures on the elderly. It's partial refund of money that we have been forced to hand over. You got to be kidding. Repaying us $1,329 a month? Are you kidding? Are you nuts? What an idea. Crazy. So you got to do something. I know, I come on here every day, join my gang, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. And you all got 401ks. You're getting killed in your 401ks. $1 trillion was wiped out of this market in January. Your 401k got hit. That's an understatement. But you're still not doing anything. I know, nobody likes change. I hate change. But you got to do something. Look, we can help you. And you can help St. Jude. How about that? We have a program. It's Phil's Gang. You join up the regular Phil's Gang. You get all the membership benefits. But you should start with first our program that's part of the gang, part of your membership. It's called the Working Investor Group. And in that group, we've taken, and we're observing right now, and you're going to be coached. You have a coach every day that coaches you. And through this process with the PT2, XLF is an exchange traded fund. That's the banks. XLY is again the XLY is our the discretionary. Excuse me, discretionary, consumer discretionary, and we have energy, which is XLE, and then we have the tech, SMH, XLK. These are the groups right here, 5 groups that took down the stock market, and this is going to be a terrific opportunity when they start going back up. Nobody will be looking at these. Just like, for example, the refiners. I told my gang members, the refiners, take like Valero, got slaughtered, got killed. Take like MRO, another great refiner, Marathon Oil, got creamed. I mean, just got murdered. I mean, the stock must have dropped about 40%. Let's see. It had to be at least a 40% drop in that stock from about 118 all the way to 67 bucks. More than that. 118 down to 67. 43% drop. Now, if you were a gang member, you would have caught and you would have been able to short that stock and gained part of that profit, because that's what we do. We short stocks. Now, in fact, we had a great sell signal on this stock going back, oh my God, and it had to be back in, it was January 6th. It dropped from January 6th about $107 down to 67. That was a sell signal we had on our chart. That's a 37% gain with the stock going down, that you could have grabbed a good portion of that. But if you come to join the gang and start with the working investor part of the gang, with the S&P, and then these groups, like I said, like our XLF, which is our banks, our consumer discretionary, our energy, we're going to watch those 3 groups, and we're also going to watch the refiners. We're going to watch the refiners. So please, think about it. Subscribe. Try it for a month. Invest in yourself. It's only $49.95 for heaven's sakes. So you can call right now, 877-600-GANG. Just tell me you want to join, you want to subscribe to the gang, okay? But you also want to be part of the working investor group. Perfect. Okay. So we're talking about Social Security. You can't make money. You can't live off of Social Security. It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, it's a typical government deal, full of good intentions, then it goes amok. Instead of closing it, like all government programs that go amok, what do? They keep the program open. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Why keep the program open? Why don't you just get rid of it? They don't do that. They don't look like our job training program. This is a welfare deal. Obama increased his welfare job program by $56 billion. And now spends $18 billion on 47 programs. They all do the same. They all overlap. So the first program was a good idea. Now they got 47 of them. $18 billion. So when Obama became president, and he saw we were losing $1 trillion, we took in certain tax money, and we were in $1 trillion in a hole. $1 trillion in a hole. He had to do some things. So instead of creating a good economy with good jobs and creating a great America, he said, I got to do something. I'm just going to create a fake stock market with quantitative easing. And now we had the 200% rally. And this is not over. You really think this crash is over? What's going to bring us back up? People don't have jobs, good jobs. They don't have disposable income. They're not going to go out and buy a bunch of stuff so the earnings go up of company stocks go up. So they're going to probably do another QE. Don't you want to be in position for that? Of course you do. But you got to do something about retirement. Social Security is not sustainable. It's not sustainable. It just isn't going to work. It's crazy. But what does work is investing. There's nothing better than the stock market. You just need the vehicle. You just need the coaching. And that's what we do at Phil's Gang. Join my gang. Subscribe now. 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-GANG. And Stephen, Denise will take your phone call. We'll see you on the charts.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
It's up to me to make my dreams.
Hi, my name